Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. A few people have been asking me to kind of go into this a little bit more detail, and so that's what I'm going to try to do for you guys here. Show you some different things. Okay, so right here, we have 42,000 years ago, this was the last pole migration, I guess you should call it. But I don't even like calling it a pole flip because it's really a electromagnetic field loss. Pole flip sounds like it's just a benign, two poles on the outside just rotating around. That's not how it works. That's for sure. And this is the last time a pole flip, a change of polarity happened. And the poles, as we've discussed in previous videos, I'll see if I can find a quick little, do I have one over here somewhere? Oh, this is how many times poles have flipped. All the way into the dinosaur era. Pole reversals match mass extinctions. Oh, here we go. So the poles kind of start as two individual ones. They start to break apart. These start to migrate. They migrate more and more, some more little smaller parts. They both kind of jostle and do a promenade between each other. They have now switched sides, see? Switched sides. They come back and unite. And let's find out how long this whole process takes. Okay, so that's the first question. How long does the entire flip take? Okay, let's go back to that image I was just showing you. Okay, let's get a bigger one so you guys can see it better. Okay, so the entire length of the flip, let's say, is that, okay? So that would be, it's about 5,000 years, it looks like to me. The entire thing, from beginning to end, can be as long as 5,000 years. But let's look at where we are now. We are right here, right now. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that right there, right now, okay? We have, this is the total field strength up here. This is the maximum. Around, that's a full, strong, classic bar magnet, great field, okay, up here. We are all the way down here. Okay, let's find out what percent of the flip we're into. Okay, so we'll take the whole length. The whole length I have at 85 centimeters, or millimeters, 85 millimeters. So half of 85 would be like 42. Let's see what 42 looks like. Okay, 42. 42's up there. So we are definitely above 50%. We are definitely, let me get 42 again. 42, okay, here we go. So, oh yeah, that's like an extra 10% it looks like. This is very low. Look over the past 30,000 years, we've only gone below where we're at right now, like maybe twice in 30,000 years. Okay, so now let's answer the next question. How long is the field at zero? Because once again, to just let you guys know what happens here, where is it? Okay, here, we'll go to this one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. As the field comes back together, you know what, let's go over here to this side. As the field breaks apart, the energy used in breaking apart and migrating is taken away from the full electromagnetic field. So this is the part that is the real horrible aspect of this whole thing. Once you get into this area here, there is no electromagnetic field. Zero. They found that tree in New Zealand, and they measured that it was 42,000 years old, and that the pole flip had happened then, and a lot of the ecological damage that had happened. So let's find out how long the actual at zero is, okay? A very important question. Okay, let's go back. Okay, how long at zero? It's a very small amount of time down here. Wow. To me, it could be about 1,000 years at the most, but it can also be less. You know, that could be 700, I'd say it can last up to 700 years. All right, so now let's ask ourselves the next important questions. First, we have the first one. How long does the total pole switch take? We know it takes maybe up to 5,000 years it can. Now, another important piece of data to look at. This is really important, actually. From here to here, this drop, you see how straight that gray line is? It has never, ever in the history, I'll even go back further, never, ever been that straight. You can see it's never been that straight. This is a massive, super steep drop that is not in recorded history. I don't see it in any of the histories. This steep. Now, how long did this drop take? It looks like that could be what we've lost in, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think we have lost a lot more than they've told us. They say we've lost 10% in the last 100 years, but they don't tell you what we've lost in the past 1,000 years. And from what I can see here, okay, that's no more than 1,000 years. Let's go back 2,000 years at the most. This pole magnetic field strength weakening has been happening for about 2,000 to 1,500 years, I think. And in that period of time, it has dropped 50%. And then the last 100 years, look how sheer it is. Look how sheer that is right there. I don't know if you're seeing this on camera, if I screwed up or not. Didn't put it on enough, but look how sheer that line is. Wow. Now the question is, how long do we have until we start having major signs? Well, at this field strength, we should definitely be seeing stuff now. And we're going to be seeing everything I spoke about before, all those other conditions. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to go manual. But there's all of these conditions that are going to happen and are happening. At the 50% range, all of these things are happening. But I think we're more down into here, the 55 to 70% range, where a lot of really bad stuff starts happening. And if you look at our magnetic fields, this is not a normal magnetic field. Our geologists are freaking idiots. I cannot believe that I am the only person, as far as I can tell, who's talking about all of these broken poles. And that our poles have broken up into, first you have the mother poles on each side, but then you have the progeny poles, the mini poles. Not monopole, mini pole. You can see there's a giant, all of these massive anomalies. You can see on this other map too, really great deep specifics on locations where the field is really just wildly well, you know, I can just zoom in on this one. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while to show you guys. Okay, so how do I do this? Do I grab this and pull it down? Oh, good. Okay, so let's look at Africa here. Whoa, what is this? What is this right here? Is that a massive anomaly? Is that a massive anomaly? Are these micropoles? Yes, they are. They are micropoles. I'll show you a couple other interesting things over here. they're down here as well too. You can see, oops, I'm sorry, I have trouble moving this stuff around. Okay, now if you look at America here, I drew these white and other lines to show where the lines of force are doing all sorts of weird things, how it doesn't look like a normal electromagnetic field. Look at this field, guys. This is wacky. This is not how your field is supposed to look. Believe me, my friends. So you can look at the north and south poles. You can see, wow, what the heck is going on here? What is going on in these guys? It doesn't take Socrates to figure this. Oh, good. This is one that doesn't have any marks on it. Okay. Now I can show you a couple things over here. If you look in the United States, try and get a focus for you guys. Okay, there you go. These are untouched. You can see arcs in here. See that? See this arc here? These are not going up and down arcs. These are going sideways. That's the one thing you don't want to see. You don't see on a bar magnet things going horizontally. It's always the lines of force. The vectors are always vertical on a fully healthy one. And of course, as you get towards the other side, there are smaller loops, but those are vertical. They don't go from pole to pole. They go from a mid-range to a mid-range. That's not happening here, guys. Our field is completely screwed. And the more you zoom in on certain places, you can start to find the mini poles. Oh, what's this? What is this thing? Oh my goodness. It's a mini pole. These are two different polarities, the red and the blue, at their intensity level. They're all over. We have some really bad stuff happening. And here's the anomaly, which is off the east coast of South America. And it is this patch right here. This patch of, look at that. It's just like, guys, our field is really screwy right now. Really screwy. If you look on the west coast, there's some structures. I mean, in the Western Pacific, there are some really unusual structures. And there's many different ways to look at these and different types of maps. And I can show you a few of those. But I think, hopefully I've shown you enough to let you see that the pole is flipping. It doesn't flip harmlessly on the outside. I saw a geologist say in a video the other day that the pole flip, the consequences of the flip were innocuous, minor. These people are not looking at the basic data and doing the basic logical extrapolations. Look at our history. Look at all of these mini poles coming up. In poles where they're not supposed to be. I think we should look very seriously at the steps that are required right now. This is a national, international emergency. This requires all of humanity to address this. And I laid out a bunch of solutions in a previous video. Everything on the land is, all the big stuff is killed during a pole flip in that middle where there's no field. So how long do I think it's going to take? I think it's already taking. It's happening now. The question is whether we're at the 45 or the 55 to 70%. I see a lot of the stuff in the 45 to 55% range already happening. In Europe this week, they had never recorded so little snow. No snow. Never recorded ever in history. This incredible heat wave across Europe. The scary part to me is this part right here, actually, that we're at. There is a drop-off point that happens where it gets really steep. You can see it right here. It just goes boom and drops to the bottom. And that is really close to us. I think we could have a dropout. And what happens is, here was the last mass extinction. Glaciation is what happened. Major glaciation. Once it'll get hot, and then once we lose the greenhouse effect, then it'll get cold, 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 cold. Fast, fast, fast. Almost as fast as that movie. If not as fast. Guys, please, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Somebody, please. I've got more charts, other charts that show the magnetic field model. This was the model at 215 in 2015. That's 7 years ago. One of the more current models looks much worse. I'll try and get that up for you in the next video. I don't want to keep harping on this. Do you guys think I should just stop harping on this, or do you think I should continue? What are your thoughts? Much love.